Now, guys, like I said, first of all, welcome to my kitchen. I spent the morning in the garden, so now it's around 12-ish, and I'm in the kitchen for about an hour. That's it, because it's Sunday, and we all know Sundays, I like to take it easy. Although we own our own business, and we did close tomorrow, so we're not open, but tomorrow I don't want to, it's laundry and, that kind of stuff. But the next thing I want to learn how to do is how do I do my potatoes? I want to get my processor out and I want to shred them, and then I want to blanch them and also freeze them. Now, my question that I don't know, I have to research, can I do those potatoes with the skins on? I'm not sure. So I've got to study that to find out if I can do that. Anyway, good morning. It's Rochelle, Legacy Home and Garden, and welcome to the kitchen. To the kitchen again because we're harvesting food from the garden and we need to preserve that food. And I by no means am an expert on preservation. In the past, we grew our garden. We grew just enough that we would harvest and eat it. It's only my husband and myself. However, this year I grew more so I could preserve some, eat some fresh and preserve some. If you watched an earlier video, you saw how I was preserving the green beans. Today, I am doing the potatoes. I've never done them before. Some people will do them, I understand, with the skins off. I like the skins on, so that's how I'm doing mine. What I did is I've taken my potato harvest, which I had a basket, put them in cold water, and I'm washing the skins to remove the dirt and all of those things and to inspect the potatoes. Then what I'm doing is I'm putting them into a pot of lukewarm water for a few minutes, and then I'm going to take that pot and put it on the stove. These potatoes are whole. I did not cut them. What I'm doing is because I have a variety of different sizes of potatoes, I could cut the larger ones so they're about the same size as the smaller ones, but I've decided, since I've never done it before, I'm going to kind of do it in batches. So as I washed the potatoes, I separated them out to the mid-sized ones and then the smaller ones, and then there's even smaller ones. Now, the real small ones, I'm not going to freeze. I'm going to keep those clean, and then what we'll do is make like a potato boat in foil, and we'll grill those with a meal later on that we're going to have. So those are not going to be preserved today. We've already eaten the larger potatoes, which were amazing, but I kind of want to bring you along for how I'm going to do it today. So it will consist of washing the potatoes, putting the potatoes in lukewarm water, then putting those on the stove. Now, the way I understand it is you want to boil the potatoes, but not until they're completely cooked. You want to be able to poke like a little knife in it and have some resistance, but not hard. Then what I'll do is transfer those hot potatoes, a few at a time, into my processor and shred those, because I'm making, hopefully, shoestring potatoes or shredded potatoes for hash browns. So come along as we try this together. So what I'm doing here is just scrubbing the potato peels, okay, and then putting them in my pan, which is just intermediate right now. They'll actually be partially cooked in a different pan, but I wanted to show you, see, like this size. Smaller size, those will not be, these will be saved for my potato boat on the grill. But something like this then will be shredded. Now, do I wish I would have gotten great big potatoes? Oh, a little, but you know what? We really were growing for the smaller potatoes because we really love having those on the grill. In aluminum foil, what we do is we take some aluminum foil and lay it out on the counter. Then we take these small potatoes, okay, we take these and then we cut them in half. Then I sprinkle them with some olive oil, some salt and pepper, and usually sliced onion. Then we make, just roll the foil up and roll it up on the end so it kind of looks like a little boat. And then my husband just puts that straight on the grill, and he grills that with whatever meat or anything that we're having, whether it be a pork chop or a piece of chicken or, I don't know, whatever, a hamburger, it doesn't matter, something like that. But anyway, this is my cleaning process. All right, so to bring you up to date, these are all of the smaller potatoes that will go on our potato boat. So these have been cleaned, and I might want to preface this by saying when we harvested our potatoes, I set them out to cure. So these have been cured. They've been sitting, they're dry, they're good to go. In here, this is lukewarm water, and I have the potatoes that I'm actually going to boil next, ready to go, by having them in lukewarm water. I don't know why. I read and studied, and that's what everyone said to do, so I'm following their advice and keeping these in some lukewarm water. They've been cleaned, brushed, and ready to go. What I have over here already on the stove are these larger potatoes that I'm going to cook until I can poke a knife in here, and I get a little bit of resistance. So you see now it's like a brand new potato. So I'm gonna put these on a boil. When those get going, then I'm gonna test them, and when they're the right consistency, I'm gonna take them out, and I've set up my food processor. Then I'm going to put them in my food processor, shred them until this is full. Once this is full, then we'll dump them out, and I'll show you how we get those ready for freezing. Okay, so you don't want these potatoes boiled. You just want them, see, about like that. I'm just taking them out a few at a time, putting them in my processor. Gonna get noisy. Sorry, but you can see that we're making our hash browns. So I'll continue doing this to these. Yep. Okay, we have those medium-sized potatoes done. So now this is very hot because we did this while the potatoes were hot. Okay, take this off. Ooh, hot, hot. Go ahead and get the rest of these that are kind of stuck on the lid in there. Now, these look amazing. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna rinse these in some cold water, okay? I've got my colander. I'm gonna put it here in the sink. So let me turn you around, or actually put you up like this so you can see better. Taking this here, go ahead and take this out, okay? See what we got here? I'm gonna go ahead and dump those in there. Right? Let me get my spatula here. We want to get all these out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to run some cold water in here. Remember, these are really hot. Okay? So Let me get the cold water going. Oh, I have that on hot. That doesn't help when you do that. There comes the cold water. What we're gonna do is run this cold water on these. Trying to get as much starch and everything off of there as we can. Get those up from the bottom. Okay, just get, there we go. That's getting better to the touch. Whew, it was pretty hot. What we're doing is just washing these hash browns, okay? Getting them to cool off. Although they're still gonna be warm. Okay, there we go. Look at those great shredded potatoes. These are gonna make amazing hash browns. So we're just getting as much starch and everything off of these as we can. Getting them nice and cool. Oh yeah, that feels great. Okay. Now what we're gonna do, sorry for the noise, we're gonna let them set here and drain just a little bit. While those are draining, do you remember my small potatoes I had over here in this here? Okay, these are gonna go in that water over here for our next batch. Okay, there we go. Alrighty.
How did it go? Yep.
Okay, what I'm doing is I got the other potatoes in the water, so I want to finish these out. So come on over to the counter and I'm going to show you how I make these patties. You're going to take a cookie sheet or some sort of a sheet, okay? You're going to grab some of these hash browns or shredded potatoes, soon to be hash browns. Put them on here and kind of put them in a cake or in a square, kind of like that, okay? And you're going to do that all the way down, like that. Okay, and then what we're going to do, once we get these kind of on our pan like this, we are actually going to put them in the freezer for about 24 hours and let them freeze solid, okay? And then we're going to put them in, I'm going to take them once they're and I'm going to freeze dry, or not freeze dry them, I don't have a freeze dryer, that's out of my budget. Vacuum seal them into individual packages, because these right here are about enough for me and Ron for a meal.
Huh?
Oh, or not, maybe I'll do 2 to a package. But when you put these on your skillet and get them going, you know, they're gonna, however big you make them, like that's gonna be a pretty monster one. I should make that a little smaller.
That was mine.
That was yours. But the key here is to freeze them solid in your freezer for about 24 hours. Then take them out, scoop them off, put them in your Ziploc or your vacuum seal, and then you've got your hash browns good to go. Now, I want to show you something. I happen to have a lot of freezer space, so it's not a problem for me, but for those of you who don't, what you can do is put wax paper on here across the top, okay, and then set another pan on top of it if you need to conserve freezer space. But I am blessed with a very ginormous, I actually have 2 freezers, so I don't have to worry about that space. Okay, I'll bring you back when they're completely frozen and we vacuum seal them and show you the rest of the process. Okay guys, it's the next day and I have just pulled the hash browns out of the freezer. So here they are, frozen, okay? And now I'm going to vacuum seal them. So what I'm doing is I have cut my bags to size like I told you the other day. I'm putting the seal in them. I went ahead and vacuumed one set and this is what they look like. Yep. So I'm going to put them 2 together and get them ready and throw them in the freezer. Okay, so what I have here is my patty, my bag that I cut and sealed to size. I put one in here and then I put a second one in here. Okay, take it over here to the food saver, Well, for heaven's sakes, my bags are making everything slip. Lay it down. Close it. Tell it to vacuum seal it. Now it's sealing it. It's done, like, taking out all the air, and now it's sealing it. We hope. Yep. Can open it. And here we go. Ready to go. Okay, I'm going to get these finished. Now it's sealing it. It's done taken out, vacuumed out all of the air. Now it's sealing the bag. It doesn't take very long. It's done. Ready to go in the freezer and ready for breakfast when I need it. How are you harvesting your potatoes and preserving them from your garden this year? Okay, everything's done. Here are all the hash browns that I got, vacuum sealed and ready to go into the freezer from the potatoes that I showed you yesterday. That's quite a bit. Hey, the other thing I wanted to tell you is this is the first time I've ever done it. Would I do it again? Yeah, for sure. But I also wanted to tell you, you don't have to have a food processor to do this. You can, if you've got one of those hand things that you grate, use that. If you like your potatoes cut in little chunks, do that. If you like them cut in slices for fried potatoes, do that. You can do them anyway. I just wanted to make hash browns because I'd never done it before. And so actually this coming Sunday, we're going to try it for breakfast and see what happens. But you don't have to have a food processor. You don't have to have a vacuum sealer. You don't have to make shredded. You can do slices, chunks, whatever you like. And then you can just put them in like a Ziploc freezer bag and freeze those if you want. But this is how I did it. Oh, there was another thing. So you could put onions in these if you wanted. I mean, slice your onions up and mix them in with your hash browns and patty them up before you freeze them. So just a thought, onions, green peppers, whatever you like in your potatoes, you can go ahead and chunk those up. And when you have your potatoes blanched, shredded and blanched and ready to make in the patties to put on the plate, just mix in your onions and your green peppers and freeze them that way. So you can do the add-ons if you want.